Hey guys, how's it going today? It's March the 16th, it's a Friday, 2:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, and we're going to talk about Bitcoin. So what we're seeing is green all across the board right now. Lots of coins in the green. Lisk, double digits. Bitcoin Cash, double digits. Not too bad, not too shabby. Looking pretty good for the bulls so far, but don't lose sight of the ultimate goal, where despite it looking bullish on a daily time frame, to me, Elliott wave seems fairly incomplete. And if we actually look on my steemit over here, okay, here's my steemit. This one was posted over 17 hours ago, where I said there was a channel inside of a channel, right? A bullish possible scenario to 8,400 to 8,600 is on the table, if and only if we break above $8,400. Though my bear scenario is full on play if we break below 7,930. So right now, we're more so in a neutral territory, and there's not much of an update. If we actually look at the level 2 order book, we just see it go back and forth right now, right? Every time we try to get below 8,500, the bulls just simply come in to defend right now. So we're ticking up slightly and very slowly right now. So my bias is fairly neutral. I'm not really in any positions right now, anything worth mentioning rather. So let's take a look at Bitcoin and the 24-hour volume. 24-hour volume is actually steadily going up right now throughout the hours at least, but not for the day. We've got to wonder, where the heck are the bulls right now, right? Where the heck are the bulls? Why have they not actually rushed in right now to start buying up the price a lot more right now? Why is there not much more of a demand? Yesterday we finished off with that hammer candle at $6.8 billion with the 24-hour volume. Pretty decent in my opinion. But today we're very low. We're at $5.5 billion still, okay? Overall market cap is about $339 billion. We were originally at about 323. So we've gained a little bit throughout the day so far. It's been about 5 hours. So here we're seeing the bulls start to spike up the market a little bit right here. Just looking at the level 2 action a little bit, we're seeing them try to drive the prices up. But it's no surprise to me right now because I expect the bulls to get it to roughly 86, 8,700 at most, maybe 88 if they really tried and we rallied together. But then again, there's still a bearish scenario for me on the table right now, and unfortunately I cannot throw that away yet. So let's look on the daily chart. Excuse me there. Let's look on the daily chart, actually the weekly chart, okay? Let's talk about the weekly chart. Now, the weekly chart is looking very bearish, guys. Looking very bearish to me, where we're rejecting, we started to reject even at the 21 moving average here, right? The only way for Bitcoin to be very bullish, in my opinion, or even to have some sort of bullish sentiment, which is almost impossible now in my opinion, is if we actually start trading above about $9,700 range, which is above basically the open of this candle here, actually 9,500-ish. That's the range, but it's obvious that we're not going to get to those types of ranges right now. It's just not possible with about 3 days left right here. Until we break above $9,500, yeah, there's no way I'm going to consider it even slightly bullish yet. So if we look over on this specific chart right here, where we're drawing a trend line that just goes across like this, we see that a viable target is still around 7,000. Right, 7,200-ish range over here. If we look over here, this actually creates a fairly decent support as well, just around over here. So are we actually going to get these crossroads right here, which marks right around $7,200 range, right? Now, I don't know if we're going to get there, but just looking at the level 2 order book, we're seeing a pretty big battle right now that's going on between the bulls and the bears. Someone has even stacked up 300 Bitcoin right here to try to push up the market a little bit, right? He stacked it up at 85.36 there. So looking at the weekly, chart, just to summarize really quickly, it doesn't look bullish at all. But then again, there's no way for us to actually account for how the week is going to end up, other than the fact that it's not going to be bullish compared to, for example, the Dragonfly Doji right here. It would have been really nice if we traded above a 9,500 range, But until next week, that's when we're going to get more confirmation of our overall trend. So here on the daily yesterday, we did finish off at a really nice doji candle or hammer as well. So as soon as we started to close above here, I would imagine that a lot of people entered a long trade, right? Right around this range, around the 8,400. The high of this candle was 8,400. That's why I was mentioning many times that that's one of the main resistance points that we need to break through. If we broke through it, there was a good chance that we would get to exactly where we are right now. So there weren't really many surprises, right? For the bulls out there, of course, you might have entered a trade as soon as we broke above this region. And now we're trying to actually hold this right now above this region. So if we look at the 4-hour chart right here, right? On the 4-hour chart right now, we don't know how high this histogram is going to tick for. We got to get a very solid crossover where the MACD itself can actually get to the positive side. But what we're seeing right now on a 4-hour chart, guys, is a fairly bearish candle actually. If you look at the candle right here, it's bearish because, well, despite us rejecting to the downside of the 21 EMA here, nevertheless, it is a reversal candle the way it looks, right? It's borderline between a doji and borderline between a hanging man right now. So we're also meeting some resistance points right here. Unless we can actually break above this resistance point on the 4-hour chart on the RSI, then we might have some hope to get to a higher range between the 87 and 8800 range. But for now, it doesn't really look the best, guys. Like, you know how we were breaking above the 8850 range, right? But look how quickly we ended up getting shattered down here. All right, that's pretty quick, right? You have to admit. So not really looking too great right now for the bulls, I'd say, just based on the level 2. So what am I hoping for, to be quite honest? Well, I'll show you guys what I'm hoping for. There you go, right there. I'll give you guys a glimpse of some of my position that I'm hoping for. I'm ready to buy over 11 Bitcoin, as you guys see right here, at $7,200, right? So I'm ready to enter myself into a $70,000-$80,000 position just based on waiting a little bit there. I didn't want to show you guys the rest of my screens because I got some other stuff going on there. And yeah, so I'm hoping for us to get to around that range right now. I'm not in a short position or anything, just so you guys know right now. But yeah, look at the level 2, right? We're just bouncing right now, just bouncing back and forth between 8,200, or sorry, 8,520 and 8,550 here. Now we look on here, the histogram looks really positive. It looks incredibly bullish going upwards. But how long is it going to stay bullish for? We need to make some significant ground. If I actually look at here, okay, and I counted my Elliott waves, I cannot help but count this as 1, 2, right? 3 right here. I see this as 4 pretty much. And I still see a 5th touch coming down around to the red line over here, okay? Around 7,200, maybe 7,600, who knows, right? Because if I were to finish up the rest of my count here, I simply just see A, B, C for that one, and I just simply see this right here as well as A, B, and C. Unless I'm missing something, right? Unless I'm missing something very significant, we see that we're getting a lot of pressure right now to try for the 55 EMA on the 2-hour chart here, right? But it's just not really getting there right now. This is the next RSI resistance for the 2-hour chart right there. Let's go take a look at some other lower time frames. We're finally trending above 85.50, which to me is fairly normal for us to get to around these ranges again. There's absolutely no surprises in my eyes. Let's look on the 1-hour chart, right? The 1-hour chart is the one that's looking very bullish, I have to admit, all right? It's looking very bullish because we did do this MACD crossover, right? Take a look right here. We ended up doing a MACD crossover right over here. So I can't help but think to myself that, yeah, we're going to get a little bit higher here. If I were to count my my analysis right here and just, you know, get more detail, I'm going to be counting it as 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. I see this as a possible ABC coming down, okay? A, B, and a C. like that. And now we're looking for 5 more waves going up, right? This could very well be a 1. That could be a 2 right here. That could be a 3 roughly, a 4, and maybe 1 more touch going up for a possible 5th wave. If we actually look at our extension right now as our target, we see it as we hit a slightly 1-to-1 target right there. So, you know, slightly higher than it. So a viable target is definitely somewhere around 87 to 8800 if we even get there. So then this completes our ABC correction. Just something like that, AB and a possible C. So I can't help but think that this is a proper count that we cannot dismiss, right? So if that's a count, wicked. And just to summarize very quickly as well, what we've been doing throughout the day and how we broke out of there is with our channel, right? We get a channel that broke through fairly easily right here. Take a look. Not a bad channel, right? And then we also, excuse me, have another channel here that, let's see how this one's holding up here as well right now. All right, where, you know, it's no different whatsoever. We're still trending right in between this channel, in my opinion. And because we're trending right in this channel right now, it does look to me like we're not going to break it, guys. I'm sorry to say, but it just doesn't look like right now it's going to break it. It is a solid channel that has been established thus far. Maybe we'll get to 8,700 at most, maybe 88 with a few wicks or something. But right now, just the way it's looking and the way the 30-minute is not fanning out the way that we would like it to, it seems very difficult for us to assume that we're going to get a lot higher highs, especially with the volume slowly downtrending, right? Have you guys noticed how calm I am when I'm extremely tired? Yeah, I was gonna call it a day, but I just started chatting with my friend, and and when I start chatting with her, I just kind of get carried away. So yeah. So now we look at the level 2 order book. You know, it's still trending between 85.60, 85.70 there. We're getting rejections to the downside on a wick, right? Sure, we can get to like 8,600, but as soon as we get there, we just end up getting rejected right away. So is this channel gonna break, right? We look at the MACD over here on the 30-minute chart, and is it actually gonna cross over, or is it just gonna curve around? So the way I'm seeing it right now is there's not really much of an opportunity to go long, guys. I'm sorry to say, but there's really not much of an opportunity at all right now. I mean, for all I know, maybe this is like even if I counted this very differently, right? If I counted this, for example, as A, B, C, D, E, it still works out to be the exact same thing, where that's A, B, C, D, and E. And this could have made some sort of triangle pattern like that coming in, right? So if I made a triangle pattern like that, that's pretty reasonable to look at it like that. Now if that did make an A, B, C, D, E instead of the A, B, C, then we'd simply just see this right here still as waves 1, 2, 3, 4, and there's still a 5th touch somewhere, right? We don't know where it's going to be. But nevertheless, there seems to be 5 waves going up, some corrective wave, and another 5 waves going up, which creates a 3-wave structure. Until we get a 5-wave impulse move upwards, then I'll be convinced 100% that my count is wrong, okay? Until we get some sort of correction like that, you know, going upwards, and we get 5 impulse waves going up, that's when I know for a fact that my count is entirely wrong. And until we break a very reasonable number, right? Like until we break, my number, guys, is honestly about right here, this region right here. Okay, until we break above $8,900, that will be my very bullish count. Until then, no, I can't be convinced. Now, I'm not going to be entering any long position until it actually gets to 8,900, because I'm not convinced of a particular trend and direction yet right now. I'm still leaning towards bear. That's my bias, right? I'm not in any position, just to be very clear with you guys, all right? I'm looking to purchase Bitcoin, right? As you guys saw, at $7,200. I'll probably buy 10 or 11 Bitcoin for $70,000, $80,000 position. But that's just, you know, my bias that I'm just hanging around to wait for, okay? Hopefully that does play out. If it does, awesome. We're gonna end up making a substantial amount if it does bounce from there. But other than that, guys, like there's not really a decent play. I mean, if you guys look at your risk to reward, if we break above here and you shoot for 8,800, the risk to reward is just, it's so tiny, the gain, that it's not even worth it, right? Like if you guys break above 8,600, what are you going to do? Shoot for 800 for a 2.4% gain? Where's your stop loss going to be? You're going to have to go for a stop loss of at least a swing low, in my opinion. A 1-to-1 risk to reward ratio. It's just simply not worth it to me, right? If you guys actually take a look at the level 2 order book, we tried to get to the 8,600 range, and that we did with each other here in this video. But look what happened. We ended up getting rejected down very hard so far already. So can you guys see my confusion where I'm neither bull nor bear in this immediate short time frame, right? So we have to consider time frame and as short term, medium term, long term, right? There's many different bias for all different scenarios. So right now, for the immediate term, like right now, this specific moment, I'm neutral. Now in the next few hours or by the end of the day, I would lean towards bear, where we would coming down. In the next 3-4 days, I'm leaning towards neutral to bearish. But in the next week or two, I'm leaning towards bull, just so you guys know, okay? So I don't see a really good opportunity for the bulls to enter right now. I see an opportunity for the bears to enter if we break though, okay? If we break below, for example, this range, around 8,400, game on. I'll be entering my short positions, but until then, I think it's just premature to be entering it. We don't see it fan out, right? It just does not fan out. Like look at what happened last time where, you know, it crossed over, yeah, but it just looks really crappy, right? You know, here is decent, right? Where it bounced off of an actual 21 and the 8 moving average there. But here, like we don't really have any major bounces yet. It's not consolidating in a nice way either. In fact, what we're seeing more than anything, guys, is we're seeing the 30-minute MACD that looks like it wants to cross over, right? We don't know if it's actually going to cross over or just end up curving around like that, okay? I have no idea at all. Okay, so I really couldn't tell you, to be quite honest, if it's going to end up curving or not. But we notice right here that it's looking pretty decent. Like on these charts here, it's just some sort of flag that it's making, right? I don't know why that's that color, but you guys get what I mean. It's just making some sort of flag where it's going to break out of there and go upwards. Not likely either right now, okay? So we're trending on even a 15-minute chart. We're wondering, is this going to actually tick upwards, right? If it does, then we can expect a positive tick to maybe the 87, 8800 ranges still. So my bias stands, guys, that I'm neutral right now. But right, if we break there, it's still not worth the risk to reward to me for a 1-to-1 risk to reward. So what I'm going to end up doing is just waiting. I'm going to wait to see if we can break above 8,900, and then I'll change my bias to slightly bull, right? Because then we'll have retraced all the way to the wave 1 territory. But what we got to make note of right now, if I were to just consider this part where the beginning of my, like, I don't want to consider that weekend, okay? It's not fair to me to consider that weekend. So I'll be more fair and actually consider it where it just broke down to over here, or even right to the channel, right? Like just right around here. Even right here would be fair as well, okay? Right where the 55 EMA actually ends up downtrending. So if I were to count it from that weekend right there, it's actually very fair to say that we found resistance right here at the 382 fib level, and then we found support near the 0.5 level right there, okay? 0.5 level. And then now what we're doing is we're getting resistance at the 618 Fibonacci level at the 8600, which is 100% fair to say, right guys? So this is why right now there's this dilemma of being confused of what's going on. So we have to make sure that we just exercise extreme caution. We've got to make sure that we just wait to let it play out. Entering right now would just be pure FOMO in my opinion, right? I mean, take a look right here. We ended up upticking very slightly on the histogram, on the 5-minute chart, right? Just very, very briefly here. But look what ends up happening already. We're already down ticking, right? We just simply cannot maintain this momentum. So this might be a sideways momentum for a while. What we're seeing is that every time it goes below the 55 EMA, even on the 5-minute chart, it rejects it to the downside. Right here, we see a wick that actually rejects it. Here we see a double series of wicks. So let's look on the 15-minute chart and see how the candles are looking, right? There's they're looking very neutral. There's not a single bearish candle more than the other. There's this one right here that just formed that looks fairly bearish actually. I stand corrected. This is like a shooting star, right? This one here, I thought that we were going to end up downtrending after getting these series of candles here as well, and here we did, but not a lot. Here I thought we were going to definitely come down. Looks almost like a bull trap, right? Take a look at it. Looks like we were going to come down here. We were getting a shooting star. Here we got a hanging man, came down. Here we're getting a kind of an indecision candle at the top there. So just looking all across the board right now, we're just getting series and after series. On the 2-hour chart, these looks like a triple tweezer pair, right? Like 2 of them are seen alone as tweezer tops. 3 of them alone is seen as basically a triple, right? So we don't really know how this is going to be. So yeah, I think I've covered pretty much everything. If we break above, 8,900, sure, I'll change my bias to slightly more bull. Until then, I've got absolutely no reason to. So I'll keep you guys updated later in the evening tonight when there's actually more news. Other than that, have yourselves a great day, guys. I would really appreciate an upvote on steemit, as always, if you guys don't mind taking the few seconds to do that. And make sure you also like, subscribe, and share if you guys aren't already. I keep my content on all 3 different platforms, right? Videos, obviously, on YouTube. On Twitter, you're going to see a lot of my tweets and my thoughts in general. And then on steemit, you'll find the majority of the charts there, which you might want to bookmark if it's the most relevant one, because you can keep up to date, right? And other than that, if you guys think I'm doing a killer job, you guys are welcome to donate to the cryptocurrency piggy bank, but don't ever feel obligated to, right? Just sometimes people like to buy me a lunch or buy me a coffee or something. Just let me know I'm doing a great job, but don't ever go out of your way, guys, because I'm absolutely cool. So other than that, have yourselves a great day, guys, and thank you very much for all the love and the support. Bye now.